Okay, we are rolling. Yay. Hi, Gemini, that's you. This is Tarot Lumination. This is your love and relationship mini report for April 2018. You know the drill. Watch for your sun, moon, and rising. Reinterpret, in case this sounds totally nuts to you. And then also do the cross watching for a significant other. We're going to use the crucible spread and going to do this on the understanding that there's you, Gemini, a significant other, and a third entity, the relationship itself, okay? That has a life and energy and identity of its own, and in a healthy, loving relationship would be acknowledged and understood and nurtured and fostered, okay? As a structure, a crucible, a very powerful, sturdy structure, typically, like in science, it would be a ceramic bowl, which can endure tremendous pressure, the sort of pressure that happens in an intimate relationship as we intimate and separate. Now, I just want to point out a couple things on the calendar. I don't think it's too much of a big deal, but I feel obliged to mention it because I told everybody else. Keep an eye out for these dates. March 31st, coming right into April, coming straight off of a full moon for the next few weeks from there. There is a massive heavy T-square on the Aries, Libra, Capricorn axis here. It's not directly in your relationship sectors, so, I'm just moving on. Again, the same thing. April 15th, mark that date. Aries new moon, again, not in your relationship sector, but still a lot of energy in that part of your life, which for you would be up there in your 11th house of like rewards, community, hopes and dreams and wishes. Also, April 21st, nothing to do with you at all here, at all, Gemini. But again, these are very strong alignments here, just so they stick out as calendar moments. And again, right at the end of April, we have the full moon, April 29th. Okay, it's a Taurus Scorpio thing. Again, not directly hitting you, so just giving you the calendar moments to be aware, and everyone else can do what they want to do with it. I just want you to be aware that those dates are significant for everybody in some way, shape, or other, and it will maybe have a sort of like a tangential impact on your love and relationship, okay? So cards are well shuffled in advance. We did all that. No reversals, no flyers, jumpers, oracles. I'm sorry, I don't have enough time, enough room. And the cards are lovely the way they were originally painted. Okay, basically we're shuffled here. I feel good about the cards. Please invite your angels to witness with you. Tarot Illumination angels are here. I like to share. And as we connect like this, I'm just asking you to take full advantage of the situation yourselves, okay? Thank you, Geminis, for watching. And let's see what happens. Okay, bless this reading. Here's your love relationship energy pulsing, okay, radiating like a radar. Over here is their energy pulsing and radiating like radar, okay? Over here is deep in the soul of you, deep in the soul of the other, and deep at the core is the relationship itself. There itself is the crucible. I hope you can see that. This is the structure in which both of you can oscillate in and out. Intimacy, separation, and the natural ebb and flow of all relationships. In other words, you don't want to be like this all the time, codependent. You don't want to be like this all the time, completely detached. Okay? It will, in a healthy relationship, intimacy and separation is a very natural flow. Over here would be the momentum. If you think of it as a fountain, like this is actually like a device that creates energy. The relationship has energy itself. Over here, we're going to look at circumstantial energy, the weather, so to speak, and you, Gemini, are going to make the most of it like the rest of us, okay? So you have the Two of Pentacles here. So it feels to me as though this is sort of to do with the astrology in that, yes, in terms of the charts and the patterns and everything, there are some very significant heavy wave patterns going on here through April, but they don't necessarily impact you directly on the relationship axes. However, the waves are significant enough that they are going to affect you somewhere in your life, in your world, which will have a secondary, let's say, ripple effect on your relationship dynamic. And then this would put you in a situation where you cannot afford to be off guard. It's very, very important to maintain your equilibrium now going through this time period we call April, so that you're not caught off guard by the big wave patterns that I just showed you, highlighted on those particular dates. So in other words, you still have an obligation to be responsible and balanced and fully aware of what you're doing, how you're doing it, why you're doing it, with whom you're doing it, and when you're doing it, and where you're doing it, okay? So just be very, very aware, okay? All right, let's have a look. What are you radiating here? Okay, well, it's hard for me not to notice the lunar effect here because, you know, as conscious and as aware as you might be, Gemini, these lunar patterns may not resonate with you in the way they might resonate with a Cancerian or perhaps a Scorpio or a Pisces. And so, as capable and wonderful and loving as you might be, simply because of the nature of these very perfectly natural events that are going to affect all of us, this one here, and so on and so on. I'm just doing this as a demonstration. All those things are going to happen anyway, regardless of who you are, whether you know anything about the planets or not. And the thing is, it feels to me that you might be getting caught off guard a little bit here in the Aries season. Even though Aries energy in general is very comfortable for you, Gemini, it would be called a sextile. It's just that with all the like convulsive energies going around Aries, where Aries is kind of a pivotal point here, there's some serious jostling going around. It's literally like the Two of Pentacles here, where it's almost like the energy of a ship deep out in the ocean, where there are some massive, huge riptides and waves that are tossing things about to the point where the whole integrity of you and the ship in which you live, the relationship, the structure itself, the crucible itself, if you think of that as the ship, it's all in question now. It's being like, you know, like in those old-fashioned like Moby Dick movies or something where everything's black and white and you can hear the creaking of the boards in the ship like as the whole ship is getting twisted and bent through these very challenging weather conditions. So if you think of this April season as very serious, potential heavy weather, even though it's not affecting you directly in relationships, the weather patterns are serious enough to affect you as an individual, as a person, to the point where you could feel unhinged or like, what the bleep is going on? Why didn't anybody tell me about this before? It's a little bit too late now to get recalibrated and like do a master's course in astrology in 2 days. No, it's not going to happen. So you kind of have to ride it out. The whole feeling here for me, for you, Gemini, is that you're just going to hunker down and get through this, and it might be disorienting for you, and you might feel a little bit tripped out or scared by the whole thing, like, what's happening, people? What's happening, people? Everything was just fine a moment ago, and then you're dealing with it in kind of a way that's unexpected, and now you're challenged in holding, let's say, holding things stable, creating a sense of stability in yourself, not just for the relationship with a significant other, but just trying to maintain your own stability in case these planetary patterns really like wig you out and take you to the limits of your abilities. It'll be fine, of course. This is the moon card. It is a major arcana. And in other words, the energies that are happening are perfectly normal and to be expected. It's just a question of what are we going to do with that. If you feel if you feel as though you're being hazed and squeezed and pushed through things that you had never understood or known or anticipated, then yeah, it could be disorienting. And then you could think, well, maybe it's my relationship, or maybe it's my loved one. Well, right now I'm suggesting, why not just blame it all on the planets and then be lucky that you have a relationship at all. Okay, some people let me put this in here. Sometimes singles watch these reports. They're built for couples, but if you want to take the laws of attraction into action, then you can take these cards over here as the energy of what if. Like, let's say you're single, Gemini, and you're pulsing and radiating this energy. What would the other person be like if they could just show up right now? then that would be this type of energy. If you look at it in terms of limbic resonance, in other words, you're resonating this, and this is what's echoing back to you. Okay? Just wanted to put that in there. So let's have a look at the other. Okay. Well, to me, it feels like with the Ace of Swords here, no matter how wigged out you might be getting with this whole situation, Gemini, they seem to be handling it okay, where from their perspective, they might be thinking, you know what, this is actually a really amazing opportunity for us to get ourselves properly in alignment once and for all, dear sweetheart, dear loved one. Like, I know there's no cups here or anything, but this is a love and relationship reading, so I am interpreting it from the love perspective. It's almost like, hello, honey, I know you're stressing out. I can see it. You can see you're freaked out by all these things that don't make any sense, and you know you have to keep going. And I get it. I get it. I'm here for you. In fact, darling, I see this as an opportunity for us to truly get aligned, an opportunity like we haven't had in a long time. So let's make the best of it, okay? And then you go, okay, if you say so. You seem to know a lot more about these things than I do. And then they say, well, I'm glad you understand that and accept that because, yes, I am the smart one here. I'm the one who knows. Thank you very much. And I see this as an opportunity for us. Okay, okay, all right, thank you. All right, let's do it. So that's a form of making love right there. I know it doesn't look like it in terms of the cards, but, you know, that's how relationships work out if you invest in each other. Let's look at the deep soul self here. Okay, well, with the Three of Swords here, you don't have to freak out. You might be freaking out because of what's happening in the context of a relationship dynamic where you might perceive things as everything going wrong. Because if you have not planned or anticipated or been aware of the potential, let's just call it uh, challenging weather or the turbulence that can happen through April, then if something happens to you in the relationship, you could feel as though you've been totally bulldozed or bowled over or unhinged or coming, like the whole thing is coming undone. And that could be just a deep, deep sense of fear because of things that might have already been, let's just say, flawed or fractured in the relationship, which is becoming very obvious now. Like if you guys have been just ticking along for a while and everything's so, and then now we go cruising through April and you realize there's an awful lot of stuff that's not working and it's really coming to the surface and you can sense it all to the point where you think, oh my God, it's the end of everything with us. Oh my gosh, it's totally broken. I'm totally paranoid. I'm sure they're cheating on me. They're way too smart and they're doing something and they're getting away with it and I'm going to end up destroyed and ruined. Or maybe it's just our relationship is a lot more effed up than I ever thought it was. And I can't stand the thought of having to get third-party professional help. Oh no, that's awful. I can't stand it. And then having to go deeper and realizing, oh my gosh, what have I done? Is this all my fault? Oh no, oh no, oh no. I don't see them freaking out over here. Let's have a look. Let's just keep going. Okay, deep inside of them. Okay, well, my feeling now is even though those like hotspot dates that I mentioned are not directly sitting on you on the relationship axes, like the first, seventh house, or maybe the fifth house for love and romance, or something like that, or the eighth house for deep intimacy. To me, it feels like there's enough turbulence going on out there in ways that you had not anticipated, Gemini, that it's taking the relationship itself to a kind of a breaking point, to the point where you're literally wondering whether the whole thing is going to fall apart and sink. Literally like a sinking ship gets tossed around to the point where, you know, the ballast is gone, the what do they call it? The bottom of the boat is kind of breaking open and everything's leaking and everything's going down the tube. And like, you can't even figure out who's to blame here. Of course, it would be very nice to blame somebody. But the thing is, they might be coming to some stark awakenings and deeply buried hidden truths themselves in the context of a relationship where they are realizing that, you know what, there's an awful lot of stuff that's not working here that probably hasn't worked for quite a while. And like I'm pretending I'm them now. Like And if I'm honest and if I'm really true to think about it and I get these blinding awakenings of what's actually happening on our relationship, the reality is like I feel really left out. I feel really impoverished. I feel as though I am not worthy, I'm not deserving, and I'm not ready and really and open and able to receive. And that sucks. That equals impoverishment in the heart, impoverishment in love, impoverishment in relationship. And I don't know if this is being openly expressed, because uh, this looks to me like there's a lot of challenges happening in the context of the relationship, but it's challenges that have either been buried or ignored or didn't even, you guys didn't even know existed until this time period. And it's all coming out to the surface now. Everything that could go wrong is going wrong. And it's, please, if you think of that as a blessing, and if you think of the crucible is still intact here, we'll see it a little bit how things go. But maybe it's about time you guys recognize this. And you don't have to assign any blame right now, but it might be a really good idea to acknowledge that we've got issues. We've got serious issues about getting things back into harmony and balance here, because it's obvious that certain things, doesn't mean the whole relationship is doomed or anything. It's just that it's very obvious that certain things in the relationship are seriously out of whack. Okay? With you guys. What about the relationship itself? Yeah, absolutely, for sure. You guys need healing big time. Gemini, this is your reading for you, about you, in the context of a loving relationship. But to me, it looks here like there's a lot that is out of alignment. It's not working for you or for them or for the relationship itself. However, the relationship still seems to exist enough that the relationship is radiating the energy of love and healing. I see this as a very powerful healing card, and it's either a very loud scream. Hopefully you guys are aware that there's you, there's the other, and then there's the relationship itself. If you guys are listening very carefully, you might understand that the turbulence that we were talking about here, all those weather patterns we talked about, is felt by the relationship itself. In other words, if you allow that there's a third person in the room with you guys, you, them, and the relationship, and the relationship is crying out, please, please, please heal me. I can't heal myself. I'm not a self-healing relationship. I can't do this. You guys, it's like the relationship is shouting very loud. You need to get into some healing practice with you. Get this relationship fixed, because you are seriously out of whack. You're seriously out of whack. We need to fix this thing, people. And the relationship itself needs a lot of healing. And that means both parties having to admit that the relationship is messed up itself. It might not be you. You might be just fine in your own way. They might just be fine in their own way. There's a lot of revelations here coming into full light and full awareness, and they might be the one who's expressing it, and you might be on the receiving end, like, oh my gosh, I had no idea, like, oh, I knew this was going to happen, and I've been trying to put it off, oh no, oh no, oh no. And the relationship is saying, fix this stuff now, okay? It's time to bring things back into harmony and balance. Let's have a look. And restore the love, people. In other words, Gemini, if you fundamentally have a very loving relationship, but you have discovered, both of you, that your relationship is really messed up right now, then it's about time we blew the lid off this and just admitted it and looked at it and realized that, yes, you guys need healing. You guys need work. It's almost like you guys need professional counseling, frankly. And then once you do that, once you make the conscious decision, well, there's me, Gemini, there's the other, and we have this thing called the relationship. It's like, so long as you honor and respect the relationship, and if you feel that there truly is a love relationship here and it's worth healing, then the love will be restored. It's fully restorable, and buckets of love while you're at it. It's just that A lot of people, in relationships, they do so much stuff on autopilot. Once they're linked up, they think, okay, that's great. I know you, you know me. We know how to do this, how to do that. I know the positions that you like, and you're always on the right-hand side of the bed, and then you do those pizzas on Friday night, and I go out to work and do huge amounts of labor for not much money, and then I go over here and do all sorts of things which are not much appreciated, but that's life. It sucks for everybody, but that's just how it is. No, you can't just put everything on autopilot like that. It's very important to understand that the relationship is a pulsing, living thing in its own right. And it's seriously messed up right now. And you guys need work. You guys need to work on each other. You guys need to work on yourselves. You guys need to work on the relationship. There's a lot of work to do here. Okay. But all is not lost. I see that it is worth it. I don't think this temperance card would be here unless you guys already had something very significant going on. All right. So let's make the best of this. Okay. I hope I didn't scare you or touch any really awkward nerves with you guys, Geminis. I'm just calling it out. Okay. All right. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you. All the best. You know where to come if you need help. Just go to terralumination.com. We'll figure it out. Bye.